Hi, this is Colleen from Keeping the Peace, and thank you for joining me today for another episode of Colleen Answers Your Questions. Today's video is kind of heavy on my heart, really. This video is coming about because of an experience I had at the range. On Saturday, I was there to teach a private lesson. My student didn't show up, and I went in and did my own practice, came out, and I was just kind of standing there with a fellow instructor, and we were talking about some different experiences we had had. We were actually discussing slide bite. We were discussing a scenario where we had each seen someone cut pretty badly by the slide of a gun, and we were talking about the measures that we had put in place in our classes to make sure that it never, ever, ever, ever happened again. That happened in the first class I taught. And out comes this lady from the range, bleeding profusely, confused, traumatized. She had gone in with a male, I'm not sure who he was, whether he was her husband or boyfriend or what, and she was practicing because she was coming to a concealed carry the very next day, and she wanted to have shot her gun at least once before she came to the class. She was cut badly. I helped treat her wound. It was at least an inch long, laid open gash on her non-dominant hand. And we basically got the blood flow staunched. We got her disinfected a little bit. We got her gauzed up so that she could be off to the emergency room and get a few stitches, probably 3, maybe 4. And I tried to go to the ER and hopefully catch her, because in my mind after I left, I thought, you know, she is going to be scared of guns now. Because she went into the range to shoot and someone failed to prepare her with the proper grip. They failed to watch her to make sure that this didn't happen, and she didn't even know what had happened. I was in the bathroom helping her to treat her wound, and she said, "What happened? Why did my gun cut me?" She had no idea. So I'm making this video because if she asked me that question, that means there may be other people out there who have been to shoot, have been cut badly by their gun, and maybe they never went back. Maybe that was such a traumatic experience, an unexplained experience, that made them really not trust the gun. They thought, well, maybe this gun is just not, it's dangerous. But that happened because of an improper grip, which I'm going to show you. And I see this every time I teach a concealed carry class. I lecture about slide bite and about how to prevent it. I spend a good amount of time on it, and still, every single time at the range, at least one student tries to put their non-dominant hand behind the gun. And I correct it before they get bitten or before they get cut. So I'm going to attempt to let you see down along the gun. I hope this is working. We'll find out. Okay, so here's your dominant hand holding the gun. This is where your non-dominant hand should be. Both thumbs should always be on the same side of the gun. If you take your non-dominant hand and you place it here in any kind of configuration, the slide, when it comes rearward to cycle the gun, will cut your hand. Sometimes it's merely a nick or a bite. Sometimes it's a huge laid open gash. Okay, that's what happened to this lady. We're talking 3-4 stitches. It was pretty nasty. Okay, hands bleed badly, even with a tiny little nick, so you can imagine the amount of blood that was everywhere, which really freaks you out even more because you're seeing all the blood. So slide bite or being cut by your gun happens because you have your support hand behind the slide. You never want to have any of your body parts behind the slide, because this is happening very quickly. Okay, every time you fire a round, your slide is moving to the rear and then moving back forward. And this metal, when it's moving quickly, can be sharp. If you take your gun apart, you can rub your finger along that. It's not going to cut you. But if it's moving extremely quickly and you have your hand up in the way, you will probably get cut. The solution is both thumbs on the same side of the gun. Never have one thumb behind. Always both thumbs on the same side. If you shoot that way, then slide bite will never happen. If you do this, you will probably get cut. So I wanted to make this video because I feel for this lady. I would love to know who she is, and I wish I could have found her at the ER, but she probably went to a different town. I don't think she was from here. I wish I could find her because I can just imagine what's going on in her mind. Really, I put the fault for that happening on the person who took her to the range, because it was irresponsible to not teach her a safe grip. It was irresponsible not to watch her. It was irresponsible not to tell her about the slide's movement and how it can cut you if you put your hands in the way. So maybe it's possible that he didn't know either. I don't know. But if you take someone to the range for their first time, please talk to them about this before you put the gun in their hand. Talk to them about how the slide moves. Talk to them about not putting any body parts behind the slide, because no one should have to have this terrible experience at the range. Okay? So, see you in the next episode.